Tom Gordon. Ministers agreed to let more prisoners out of Scotland's jails despite being warned of a risk to public safety as they scrambled to cope with the implications of a devastating court ruling. The move was then presented to the public as an enhancement. Newly released files from the National Records of Scotland show the extent of concern at the highest levels within the Scottish executive over the so-called Napier ruling of 2004. In April that year, Lord Bonomy awarded former Barlinnie prisoner Robert Napier £2,450 plus interest in damages over the conditions he faced. These included the degrading practice of slopping out, using a shared chamber pot in an overcrowded cell, which breached his human rights. With around a quarter of prisoners in Scotland's overcrowded jails also slopping out at the time, and 600 more compensation cases in the courts, the Scottish Prison Service feared the total compensation bill could top £500 million. With new prisons taking years to deliver and overcrowding set to get worse, officials began looking at ways to reduce the prison population by letting inmates out to ease pressure and limit further compensation claims. An April 30 report sent to then Labour Justice Minister Cathy Jamieson suggested increasing home leave for prisoners from 3 to 7 days to free up 100 spaces. But it also warned, increased use of home leave would increase capacity quickly and at no cost but with some risk to public safety. It added, there would inevitably be some increase in absconding and/or offences while on home leave. In response, Ms. Jamieson's officials said the reference to public safety being at risk should be watered down. They told the report's authors, the minister asks that the claim that the increased use of home leave would involve some risk to public safety be amended or at least qualified. On May 10, Ms. Jamieson, the Lord Advocate Colin Boyd, Prison Service and Justice Department officials discussed the situation and the proposals they would recommend to the Cabinet 2 days later. The minutes of the meeting show a senior official described the Napier ruling as posing a threat to a large portion of the existing prison estate. He went on, the policy options available were to find other alternatives to custody and to consider steps for the early release of prisoners. Two extreme options floated included changing the definition of short-term prisoner and making automatic early release more lenient. Instead of short-term being defined as a prisoner sentenced to 4 years or less, the meaning would be changed to 5 years or less. In addition, instead of short-term prisoners being automatically released after half their sentence, they could be released after a third. Both changes were not regarded as acceptable in the current. For more on this story, visit the news article link.